Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vic Akers Wonderland Podcast weekend preview. Yes, I'm back. I'm back hosting since my long break away from the pod. It's my first one back in the host chair. Delighted to do so. And I'm, of course, delighted to be joined by my co-conspirators, the magnificent Matt and the lovely Lottie. Matt, how's the international break been for you?
It's been good. Been able to watch a few of the games and just really look towards what could be potentially happening over the next couple of months. I mean, the fact that we actually had to cover that is not going to be a summer break as much as we were hoping. I think that's going to cause a lot of uproar when that officially gets into people's head. When the draw commences in 5 days.
Excellent. Well, we'll I'm not sure look forward is the right word, but with intrigue, we shall await that draw to happen. Lottie, it's been 2 weeks without WSL action. Have you been missing it?
Yeah, I have. I've been living on highlights of international football. Fortunately, I haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. I'm a little bit disappointed at the moment because we didn't get an epic speech. You got really lucky. You've hosted both the Spurs free previews this season. You got very, very lucky.
I was going to say I was going to mention this. Obviously, it's returned back from the international break, and it's all about business. No speeches, no waffling. It's revenge. Is the course of a day.
It's that I think last time we were all revved up. Yeah, we're ready for this, and then we went and lost at Tottenham. So maybe it's a good idea. It's a good idea that we didn't do it.
It is 100% that my full focus is on the pod and not the fact that I couldn't think of anything to write and I ran out of time. It is 100% the former. But the international break...
What a great host, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, I'm a bit rusty. I'm hoping to work my way back, find some form. It's like coming back from an ACL injury. You're not match sharp in your first game, but
I don't think that's the right injury to pick.
Any injury, but I'm just thinking of the likes of, Beth and Viv. We're only now, especially with Beth, we're only maybe now seeing the best of her. But the international break is, of course, over. And so I wanted a quick icebreaker from the pair of you. What has been your international break highlight? Matt, I'll come to you first. What's the moment that's sort of wowed you most?
I'd probably say seeing Lottie with Moy score a first goal. I think That was yours, wasn't it?
Oh, do you know what the best part of that is? I'm the only one who originally saw it. You two saw our highlights, so you stole my one. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, it's fantastic to finally see that she finally got a chance, not only in one game, but a game and a half essentially is what she got, and she finally got awards for it. So hopefully, going further forwards, she'll be further up that centre half list than she originally was, than people think she is.
Lottie, what was your moment of the
since I've got to change it, I'm gonna have to go for Frida Leonardson-Mornham.
Yeah.
In her brace with brace in the 5-0 win over Croatia in the Nations League. Her first was coming straight from long range free kick, and it just beat the keeper at the near post. It was just very Katie McCabe, Aston Villa last season-esque, and it was just like it's a chef's kiss of a goal.
Absolutely. No, it was a very special goal. Do try and catch the highlights if you can. They are online. It's a pretty good free kick. Mine, I'm not going to focus on England because I could easily just say, the Lotta goal, but Matt stole it. Or, me scoring, Clinton debut, Russo brace. No, my answer is simply United States getting beaten on international in the cup by Mexico. Because
how did we know that was coming?
Because it's like it rarely happens. It rarely happens. So enjoy the moment when it comes, because the fact that the USA will probably win their next 50 games. So when it's like when the men's side watching Manchester City lose, it doesn't happen often. So when it does, enjoy the moment, because you don't know when the next time you're going to see one. But that was a pretty momentous moment in the Gold Cup. And we're going to move on to the news and some more international news that there is. Lottie, I'll come in with you because you've got some news about the Matildas.
Yeah, they do. They've qualified for the Olympics in Paris this summer. They ended up thrashing Uzbekistan on the second leg 10-0. Caitlin Ford scored, Steph Catley provided 2 assists, and Kyra Kunikros got a full game. The trio will join Leah Cadena for Spain, Emily Fox for USA, Chloe Lacasse for Canada, as well as Sabrina D'Angelo for Canada too. As I just said, Frida picked up a brace against Croatia in the 5-0 win. She got player of the match, although she came on in the second half, which is I do find quite astounding sometimes when it goes that way. But again, you can't not dismiss the quality of that first long range goal, and it hit it going near post and beating the keeper. The second one was a fine solo run past the Croatian defenders with a cool slotted finish. It does mean that Norway remain in the UEFA Nations League A. Stina again was in action for their 5-0 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. I can't pronounce that, I'm afraid.
Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Thank you very much, Adam. They also managed to keep their position in League A. Stina received the ball on the turn, took 2 touches to a stride into the penalty area, and scored a lovely bottom corner goal, and it was just absolutely sublime. When we were recording the last pod, Ireland were losing 2-0 to Wales at 25 minutes, I believe, but that result didn't change. Katie did captain that evening, and she was taken off at half time with a quad niggle. Over to our under-19s. Our young Greener, Vivian Leah, has scored her first England goal in a comeback against Norway on Tuesday afternoon after hitting a powerful strike from just outside the box. And we ended up finishing the game 2-2. So
not bad.
I'm really quite pleased. First call up, first cap, first goal. She's on fire.
Well, hopefully it's the first of many, and hopefully that's a sign that maybe that some goals will come for Arsenal. Would it be great if she could play in the derby and get the winner? That would be that'd be something special. We should have
might be a push to get her home now.
Maybe so. Just a quick shout out. There was obviously the Nations League finals. As we all predicted, Spain beat France, which just the quality that Spain have. I'm sorry, France, it was sort of inevitable. Germany came third, the Netherlands fourth, which of course means that out of the European countries, it will be Spain, France and Germany at the Olympics, and the Netherlands will be going home. There was a bit of an injury fallout with the Netherlands, which we're going to come to in a bit. In news closer to home, there's been a bit of news today. I'm not sure if you have been following this at all, but Arsenal striker Leslie Russo made a return to her home club of Bearsted to meet lots of young fans and doing some Q&As and autographs and pictures. Main reason there was that they're looking to have a new 3G pitch, and the club are also looking to invest more in their women's team and get young women into the game, try and build the academy just like Russo had when she was playing there. And they're going to name this 3G pitch after Russo herself. And so she was down there and obviously doing a bit of Q&A and interviews with journalists. But this is all feeding into sort of the Euro 2022 legacy. So I'll sort of come to this from you, Lottie. I mean, how great is it to see that this Euro 2022 win, it's not just been a flash in the pan and move on. It is triggering genuine change in society and creating moments like this where we may get young lionesses coming through from our local clubs.
The fact that we're coming up to 2 years since we've won the Euros this year, and we're still getting this traction is massive. It just shows you the rapid growth of the game and how much RFA are actually investing in our women. But I do feel like they need to stop focusing on the senior team and look further down the train, because that's where the future is. That is my only issue with them at the moment. They're not investing for lower down enough. It needs to be a bit more regular than just like 18 months later. But it's a positive thing, but more can be done, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. But for me, it's great to see that from a very selfish Arsenal perspective, and also the fact that Bearsted FC is my local club. It's great to see that the players are acknowledging, recognising their roots and supporting the team, where they came from. And there was a little line from her. She was even supporting Mason FC, who on the men's side, who of course did so well in the FA Cup until sadly a few nights ago when they got battered by Coventry. You mentioned the under-19. Michelle Adjumang picked up a knee injury on England duty. Jonas Hardeveld was actually asked about quite a lot of injuries that have happened with Arsenal during the international break and slightly before. Adjumang was one of them. The belief is that it's actually nothing too serious. So it's not. It sounds like it's not the horror 3 letters which we always think of.
Okay, we can all breathe now then.
We can all breathe now. We don't know when she'll be back.
There.
I know we don't know when she'll be back, but the diagnosis is not serious, which I think is fantastic news. Huge talent, young talent. Obviously, Watford, it's a blow for them because she's obviously one of the star players. We saw, she did score against us in the FA Cup. So we obviously wish her a speedy recovery. To go through some of the other injury news that came through, we'll get the good news out of the way. By the sounds of things, Leah, Katie McCabe and Victoria Pelova are all in contention for the Spurs game. So they had some muscular issues and tweaks. Pelova obviously missed, I think, both games in the end with the Netherlands.
Yep, she didn't even make the bench through. Obviously, she came home before the second game, but she wasn't even on the bench for the first.
Absolutely. McCabe, I think she came off in crutches or on a boot. Half-time against Wales.
It wasn't. She wasn't necessarily in a boot or on crutches this time around. She just got taken off.
Right, it wasn't quite Bayern Munich levels.
No, it wasn't, and that was, excuse my language, but that was pure shithousery. And I feel like till Jonas revealed that it was shithousery again, I just had an inkling. Yeah, she's up to something. And
of course, Leah, we missed out sadly on the international break, and again against Manchester United. I think it was a sort of a hamstring strain, but it sounds like all is well there, and hopefully she will start, and I think we will obviously need her. Bad news is Lena Hurtig. I think this mysterious injury is showing no signs of clearing up. Jonas can't even confirm if she'll even play again this season. The player that we thought was going to be back like a new signing when she scored in the Champions League qualifiers and then obviously later on against Leicester hasn't appeared since. Matt, it's not looking good for Lena and Arsenal. This is the last we've seen her play.
No, and the scary thing is, I've just been thinking about maybe it's a planned pregnancy or something like that. But even then, there's a club announcement about those sorts of things.
Yeah, no, I think it's an injury.
But if it's an injury, it's a bit bizarre for the whole of the team to be so closed off about it. Usually, as Jonas said in the presser earlier today, he'll come out open and say, so it'll be in a similar area. So if it's muscular, he might say, "Oh, it's a quad injury," or something like that. So I need a couple of weeks off, and then that's it. But to be turning around and saying that's a mysterious injury, I think it's more of it could be 2 or 3 things. Like she'd gone running, and then she's hurt her hamstring. She tried to come back, and then she's hurt her quads. It could be a number of things, and it really does annoy. It's not. I wouldn't say annoy. I think it's frustrating for not just us, but also the players, because you look at some of the positions that kind of need that competition, that left wing role, especially for Caitlin forwards. This is one of the reasons why I think Chloe can actually is probably better on the left instead of the right, is because of the she's able to play both of them as well as up top if needed to. But she brings that competitive level and she makes everyone up their game. At this current moment, you've only got Caitlin and Casey. And Casey's playing right back at the moment because we haven't got Emily. So it's almost like we're going back to last season where we've got limited numbers again. So you've got players playing in positions they're not supposed to be playing.
It's kind of mad that we're down to you say limited numbers, considering how we have maxed our squad, but due to obviously injuries and international absentees and so forth, we're still playing McCabe at right back and forcing forward to just play on the left wing. Lottie, I'll sort of come to you. I mean, what's your thoughts on the situation? I mean,
thing is, I'm a little bit concerned because while Matt was talking there, I did have a little snoop on her social media. She hasn't posted in nearly 6 months.
Yeah,
and there's got to be something really wrong. And a lot of people say that they don't like her. She's not this, she's not that, but she has come through in those vital moments. And sometimes you sit there and think this is a Lena Hurtig moment. We need Lena on. She's not there.
I think this is maybe we're writing maybe off too soon. But if there is hypothetically a situation where she doesn't play for a season, and I think her contract might even be up at the end of the season.
I think it is as well. It all depends on Arsenal. If they're treating her, they might do another year like they did for Viv. But obviously, Viv is a totally different kettle of fish. But we are known to look after our own.
Absolutely. My worry is her legacy is going to be. I think people saying she's rubbish or don't like it is unfair because I don't think she's had a fair go at it. I don't think.
I don't think she's even played 10 games for the club. So how can you judge someone that hasn't even played a full?
That's the problem with the fan base. Is even in the men's, they're so judgy. There's always this expectation of what a player should be, instead of waiting to see what they've got in their locker. I've been very everybody's loving Emily Fox at the minute. I'm very held back. I want to see what she does in her first 10 games. I'm excited for what she's doing right now, but I want to see if this is going to be consistent through 10 games and not further on, if that makes sense. That's the easiest example I can put it right now.
If you have two good games, if your first two games are great, the fans will love you forever. But if you're a bit of a sort of more of a slow burner, you create prejudices which maybe you don't deserve, and I think it's a bit unfair because you could have two great games and then sort of just be average the rest of it, and people will still love you. I mean, it shows how important first impressions are, and I'd say Fox has certainly had a good start, but sustaining that momentum is another matter, and that's what will really make her. You did mention Viv, and of course we can't put this off forever. She's been ruled out for several weeks with what's believed to be knee irritation and then required to clear scar tissue from her knee. So she's had to have surgery and will be out for several weeks. This is the same operation that she had just before her comeback. There was talk about having
we're going to see her for the rest of the season now. It's March.
Yeah, so, it's the thing. The end of the season is nigh. It's snuck up on us because only I think 8 games left. It's sort of like we're in the end game already, and
exactly. And it's kind of sad because we're not going to have frequent pods. I quite enjoy doing pods every week with you guys, but obviously we'll still be here for the Euro qualifiers.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to
once a week. But
yes,
we've got 5 weeks, so I'd probably imagine that she will probably be back towards the end of the. I mean, the 21st is the Leicester game, and that's one of the last. Sorry, Adam. It's one of the last games of the season, but I imagine she'll be back for that one, if I'm honest.
Well, given she's absent, okay, we should just we should underline. Obviously, yes, we know Miedemar is like one of the best players in the world and is very high quality player, so we're not dismissing that at all. What is what's supposed to describe this? But given she's absent, how will Arsenal cope, or will they cope well with her absence? Do they have the options to play without Miedemar? We know that Jonas was trying to integrate a Miedemar-Russo partnership at the start of the year. If Viv's out long term, then that goes out the window, and he's now got to start to think of the other partnership.
I would say yes. We've got that depth up front. We've got nothing to worry about. If Frida brings that fan confidence she's had at Norway from the last game, we should see her playing a bit more. We can even play Russo there, and then put Stina up top and see how they get on together. I think that's going to be the interesting combination for me. Who goes up top, who goes in the 10, and if it's already pre-established relationships or new ones that we're building on. So it's going to be very important for Sunday.
I think this is the advantage of having such depth, is that we always know with ACLs there's always setbacks, which is sort of was half referring to at the start of the show, is what I was referring to, the fact that you always get setbacks and hamstring twins and twangs.
You can put Kimmy there as well.
Well, this is what I'll come to you with this one, Matt. How would you line up? We'll get on to obviously previewing Spurs and how we might line up on the day, but we've had Russo at 9, Kim at 10, or Frida at 10, or Russo at 10, Stina at 9. What in your mind is the best way we could maybe go forward? We could line up
without Viv. Then you sort of it would have to be. The wings don't change. Simple as.
Yeah. Just in front of the 10 and the 9. What is the pairing you would have?
Maybe it's time to change it up a little bit. Maybe it's time to put Stina up top with Frida as the 10.
Okay.
But I think it's going to depend on who's going to be in that Little and the Little and Volty, because then you got pick of out 4 different players there.
Pullover and Cooney Cross as well. Where do
yeah.
they? Yeah. Mm.
So I would have originally put Vic as the number 10, but I think at this moment in time, sees her more as the holder or the Kim Little in that team if Kim's not there. So it's difficult to say for certain. But
would you say that, sort of rounding off his point, is we obviously lost Viv for most of last season, with the ACL, and we did sort of manage to cobble something together to compensate for. Would you say that we're in a better place now to deal with it, maybe with the experience of last season and obviously with the depth we now have in that position? Do you think we're in a stronger position to mitigate for her absence?
Yeah, 100%. Essentially what happened last season was there was no change to the formation. It was just, right, okay, Frida, we need you to play as the 10. We've got no one else there that can.
It was a bit like Frida or nothing, or Frida all or nothing, basically, last season.
And when Vic came in, Vic was then playing as in that stupid role because Kim was injured. So it was Vic, Leah, and Frida as the main 3, and that's where a lot of the goals were coming from at times, or it was them getting an assist or something around that, unless you're Katie McCabe and scoring worldies against Man City in the last minute.
I mean, we'll just finish with this. We were very lucky, despite all the injuries last season. We actually, Frida and Stina had a reasonably clean bill of health because they had supply.
Is it safe to say we've got a plan B then, boys?
I think we do. I think we've got a plan B and a plan C as well. A plan B, a plan C as well. I think we have options rather than just having just one plan left, because I think it'd be interesting to see how we shape up in the derby, which I'm going to move on to. Now,
Plan D is also available, and that probably involves the youth players, but we'll leave Plan D alone for the moment.
For now, but you never know. There could be a chance for someone to become a hero. Now, this is a quick question for the pair of you. I don't know if you've been following the news much about this, but something is going to happen for the first time at the Arsenal in football.
I know what it is.
Oh,
I know what it is.
You know what it is? Okay, Matt, do you know what this is?
I have no idea what you're going on about.
Okay, so something is going to happen for the first time. I think is it in footballing history or just WSL history? I think it's footballing history.
Right now I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay,
women's football in history.
Well, Lottie, what do you think it is?
We sold the Emirates out.
No. Matt, what is?
I got so excited there.
We did it for the Man United game, didn't we? So that would.
Yeah, but I had a look earlier and I couldn't access the map.
I was going to say
there's still some. Actually, well, that's remind you that there is a key moment, but we'll come on to that in a bit. Matt, do you have no idea what this is?
Are we the top 5 attendances in the WSL?
No,
and we keep looking at.
It's nothing to do with WSL. This is global football. I think certainly in this country, it's never happened before.
No, it's not.
Okay, it is the fact that this is the first game which will have an all-women grounds team. Be managing.
I forgot about that.
Yes, I know.
That. I was so excited. I was like, "That's awesome!" And then I went, "Oh no!" I'm really happy. About it.
Well, we should say how. I mean, it's bonkers. Absolutely, that's actually we're in 2024 and it's taken this long. But how impressive! And of course, it's Arsenal that's done it. How impressive is it, Lottie?
Oh, it's absolutely massive. It's nice just to see that the club are looking at it as the women's game and in the back in the women's staff to do the job. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they go down to the bench at the men's games, the grounds team are very mixed. It's a very mixed team, which is great to see. But the fact that they've decided, we're going to have an all women's team to do the Emirates on a women's match day, I love it.
Absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And I hope it is the first of many, because that pitch is amazing. And it looks, whoever's running it, they seem to be doing a very good job. And I hope they continue that legacy. We've put it off for long enough. The game. You did rather spoil my follow-up point, which was going to be about the attendances.
I got really excited there.
I know.
Sorry.
And rightly so. So
I've been following your thread. I like your threads about the ticket numbers.
Thank
I
you.
do keep an eye on it. It saves me going to look.
As things stand, and I should say at time of recording, which is 19:48 on a Friday evening, there are still tickets available. However, by the time you actually listen to this pod, it could have sold out. So do check. And if there is a ticket and you haven't got one yet, firstly, why haven't you? And secondly, please buy one and go, because at the press conference, Jonas declared that there were 166 tickets left.
Wow.
Yeah, I've since heard rumours that it's potentially less than that. It is getting close to a point of when and not if we sell out. By the looks of things, the majority of what remains of the ticket allocation is, as always, upper tier clock end. That seems to be the last place to go. I'm not obviously down to the order in which these things get released. I don't know why the clock end is such a place where no one wants to hang out for watch a game, but so that's how these things always work. But it looks like less than 100 tickets could remain, somewhere between 100 and 200. We'll see. Now, this is obviously pretty amazing because we sold out for the Man United game. I think we were only a couple of hundred short for the Chelsea game. So if we do hypothetically sell out for both games, I will come to your thoughts on this one. So, Lottie, what does this mean? Well, firstly, if we take Arsenal out of the equation, what does this mean for the game itself as a whole?
It's a North London derby. The Arsenal fans are going to be out in force. I'm sorry, I don't know why everyone's still surprised about this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, if you're a fan of the women's game or not, even if it's your first game. It's a North London derby. And for Arsenal fans and Spurs fans, sorry.
Well, as I say, we'll give Matt. You take over while Lottie sorts herself out. Yes, Matt. What does this mean for the game, of the women's game?
It's just a very, very high caliber fixture. Just since Tottenham have re-established themselves, they were originally in the Championship, and they've gone. We played them in the FA Cup. Iwabuchi's got having that magnificent goal against them in that 5-1 win at Meadow Park. There are other magical moments like Beth Mead scoring, Tottenham hitting the post from a penalty at the Emirates.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
One up. I mean, and then there was the last season's thrashing of them. It's just like these are the sort of games you look at and go, I remember that season and that happened and that happened.
Yeah.
And whenever I look at this game at the Emirates, within the first 3 to 5 minutes, Beth Mead scores a goal with that usual Beth Mead run, and Viv usually is that one feeding her through. And sometimes you look at it and go, I missed that. And it looks like we're going to miss that. But it's things like that where you got, I've got great memories of that. And I always think back to where this rivalry has gone. It's still one-sided, but there is more of that attendance now from them. I don't know if it helped them when we went to their crappy rip-off replica stadium.
What, on 151?
Well, no, earlier in the season I was talking about.
that one. Okay, we will get to that one. We will sadly crawl over that one. What I was going to say is, what would you say? How much of an impressive, just focusing purely on the attendances? We'll move on to the game and some of the moments, which we'll get through. But how impressive its achievement is it to actually get to be the first, potentially be the first to sell out a stadium with this magnitude twice in a row? Lottie, now I assume you've got your throat back now after.
Yeah, I do. I'm really sorry, guys. I've got a tail end of flu. So if I disappear again, I will be back. As in, will come back to me in a second. But as I was saying, like with the North London derby, it's more than just points on the line for us. Tottenham will understand this. This is about pride. Although we were in North London first, Middlesex didn't join London till the 60s, so we were here first. But it's a case of who has bragging rights, and that's the one thing we've always had until December, and it's time to get that back. I don't want to see nothing what I saw at White Hart Lane. It's the first time since I went back there since we won the Premier League there the second time, and I never want to go back again. I'll be honest with you.
No, I understand that,
but it's just it's more than points on the line. It's bragging rights, it's pride, it's who owns North London. Well, technically London is red, but you know what I mean. When it comes to North London, there is always that argument. I think in terms of selling out, it's really exciting. I wasn't too impressed in December for Tottenham. They only managed to fill out 3/4 of the bottom of the bowl.
I was quite surprised by that. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to get. This is what I've just got discussion wants to lean on at the moment. We'll get on top of the rivalry Spurs, but in terms of this attendance, because there's been a lot of attendance war stuff on Twitter, and I hold my hand up. I'm probably fanning the flames on that a lot because people just say, where's your trophy? But this is a momentous. I think we can all agree this is a momentous moment that we actually setting 60,000. I mean, I remember how amazing it was when Wolfsburg was 60,000. We thought, wow, we'll never see things like this ever again, and now we're potentially getting it twice in a row. Just what are Arsenal doing right here? What are Arsenal doing, in your opinion, that are actually driving high attendances at Emirates Stadium, and what are the other clubs? We'll say Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, or Man United at Old Trafford, or Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Why aren't they able to do what Arsenal are doing? Matt, I'll come to you.
I would actually look at the broader picture as a whole. You look at Leicester and Bristol. They're both at Ashton Gate and King Power, respectively. They do get the numbers, but you could probably say the fan base doesn't have that pull yet, because whether or not they like it, the men's team are bigger and there's not that history there. You look at other teams, Man United can't be bothered to move away from their small little stadium in Lee. Yeah, I knew you were going to chuckle at that one. I thought Lottie was as well.
I know your personal feelings on the stadium, so we know you have a bias.
It's the same with City. City stay in their academy stadium, or whatever it's called now. When they've got another stadium that's the other side, unless it's a Manchester derby, then they decide to bring out the big guns. Which there needs to be a way that everyone can come together. I mean, there are players that are really big for them in terms of Beth England, Martha Thomas. I'll probably say Becky Spencer as well, Ashley Neville. Some of these players that you thought, we can lean on them. Whereas you look at how we do it, it seems to be not just the one club mentality. It's more of who hasn't done something yet? Oh, Cara hasn't done something. Cara, you do this. And then it might be Vic and I think Vic was doing something with someone.
Katrine.
Thank you.
The translation, the different language,
the Dutch and the Danish.
They all jump in and do something together, or they'll turn around and say, "Look, it's your turn to do this," or everyone sort of is jumping in with that. Whereas I don't think you see that. I think you're more likely to see that with players that are happy and willing to do that. It just seems to be very shied away from with other clubs. But then again, you look at someone who, like United, go back on that again. I think you both sat here and said that they go solely on the England.
They rely on,
the Lionesses.
The Lionesses, so the Mary Earps, etc.
Toon and Paris, yeah. Just quickly, I'll move on to Lottie's question for yourself, but for both of you, what has been your favourite Arsenal content to drive ticket sales? I mean, I have mine, and I'm pretty sure we're all going to say the same.
I think
the alphabet.
Yeah.
The alphabet. But I also find it absolutely hilarious when Kyra Cooney-Cross says Derby. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But a lot of it for me with the ticket sales, it's got to be some Jen Beattie content. There's quite a few Jen Beattie content, and I've missed it. I miss it. So, because she is responsible for a lot of the ticket sales before, obviously, this game and the Leicester game. And United, I should say, 'cause she wasn't there for that. But she was even when she was like on her TikTok and things, she was promoting tickets there, and she didn't have to. And I do want to touch on what you were just talking about. I think with Arsenal, we're the most cultural accepting club. I don't know if you guys have actually seen it, but when at the Emirates, men's or women's, when a goal does go in, it says goal on the screen, and then you've got all these different other languages. You've got sign language up there.
Yes, I've seen that.
We're so culturally accepting. It's like we're one big family. The main common thing between us is Arsenal. And it's just a part of the culture. We've always been like that. It's just with the women's, we do seem to push it a lot more.
Yeah.
Because we love to get to know our players. It's like when someone new comes in, you get all this exciting new content, and then they'll rotate to someone else who has come in. It's really it makes fans feel valued.
We should also say, I mean, how many other clubs can boast huge wraps around their stadium that feature the history that we have and banners hanging outside the stadium of, the women players as well as the men, which I've been crying out for ages. To take our Arsenal hats off, I know this is going to be hard because they're super glued on, but if we just take them off to one side and we look at the club itself, and we move away from Arsenal and we look at the rest of the competition, because obviously we don't want, as much as it's nice to have an Arsenal exclusivity to the rights of we're selling out the men's stadiums. Obviously, the bigger picture is we want every stadium to sell out. We want Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford, etc., Anfield to sell out. What club do you think, Lottie, is best positioned to be the next one to sell out? Who do you reckon will be the next men's team and it could be a big team, it could be not just a big team sort of team, but like it could be, as Matt was on about, Bristol or Leicester, or ones at the higher end of the table. Who do you reckon is best positioned to have that men's stadium sell out?
Do you know what? I'm gonna back Bristol City because their numbers are bigger than Chelsea. They're bigger than Man United. Sorry, but
I like that.
When you look at the numbers, I am backing Bristol City because some of their fans are the nicest fans you'll ever meet. I mean, we've met Shahan.
Yeah, he's a lovely chap.
He will be back very soon, joining us. But some of it's. I find it's the lower league fans that are more humble than the ones that come with a big men's club and they think they've got a right
entitlement
to respect. Yeah, that's it. That's the word. And you've got no history. What are you talking about? You've won the championship, yes, but there's nothing else there for me to give you respect. There is. I'm not saying it's all of those specific fans. Sorry, couldn't get my words out. But it's just self-entitlement from some big men's clubs, and it's annoying.
Yeah, there's some people who think because their men's team is big by rights, their women's team is also big as well. It doesn't work like that. They're not all,
unless you're Arsenal.
Unless you are Arsenal. Jonas did actually talk about the what's happened with the team, obviously, since he's come on board, and obviously it's not just him, it's loads of people working together behind the scenes of the club and obviously the fans as well. And he says something like, if you were able to bottle up what we've got, with the fans and the support and everything, and put the bottle and sell it, you'd make a lot of money. I think it's incredible. It's beautiful. I remember being at the Chelsea. I've said it before. I've been there for the Chelsea game back in 2021, I think, or 2021, and it was only 8,000. And now we're looking to hit 60,000. And I'll be watching the audience figures with intrigue tomorrow. I think at some point, it may be late in the afternoon, it's going to hit the critical mass, and we will hit 60,000, and that will be incredible. And I can't wait for the game. So let's dive straight in.
Just before that, if I'm honest, I think the closest we're going to see is the Merseyside derby. Last time out was 21,000 at Anfield. Last season at Goodison Park, it was 22,000, just over. So I would say it's going to be the Merseyside derby if that comes to a sell out before anyone else does.
Problem is Goodison Park is going to be no more soon, isn't it? They're going to be moving into their new stadium.
The next season coming, it'll be the season after.
It'd be interesting to see how many games they opt to play there. Whether they'll stay at Walton Park. I would love to see a sell out at Anfield. I think that would be amazing. And I'd love to see the Arsenal play at Anfield because, well, certainly looking at the men's perspective, Arsenal versus Liverpool on the men's side, it's always spectacular at Anfield. I'd love for something similar on the women's side. I think that would be amazing. But the order of the day is Spurs, and we'll go over their last five games, just the 2 wins, haven't won their last 3 games. Quick pop quiz, they've lost 2 of the last 3. Who were they against? I'll give you one each. Who are the 2 teams they've lost in the last 3 games?
I think one was West Ham because I've got Grace Clinton.
No. Well, now being
can't remember.
No, it's not West Ham. No, it wasn't. No, okay. It was Manchester City.
I was going to say Man City.
Oh yeah, Bunny Shaw.
and a Jordan Knob screamer in a 2-1 win for Aston Villa.
Yes.
Both of them actually at Spurs' home ground, which is I found quite interesting.
Glorious.
So it was mentioned, our researchers, and then obviously you just let me know again, reminded me, Lottie, Drew Spence and Ashley Neville, some of their key players are in contention, which is a bit annoying. Thoughts on their season so far? They're currently 6th in the table, so firmly locked mid-table, just 3 points behind Liverpool, who I think we can all agree of having a decent season. Taking our Arsenal bias off, because let's be honest, we want to see them relegated with 0 points, and then we'd all laugh on a funeral.
On a Spurs
I know.
Do you know how
I know.
hard that is?
That's why I want to say, we'll start off first 2 seconds. We just say we can all agree we want to see Spurs relegated with 0 points, minus a trillion goal difference, and we all wish to laugh on their grave. I think we can all agree that, can't we?
Face. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. We can all agree that. But if you were to look at this as mature individuals, I know that's going to be hard for the three of us, certainly for me.
Sorry, I'm going to go back to laugh.
While Lottie recovers herself, we could probably agree that Spurs had a bit of a poor season last season, didn't do well. Obviously, Ryan Skinner got the sack. They were kept up by Beth England's goals. This season, they seem to be returning to a form similar to 2 seasons ago. Matt, do you think this is where Spurs are? Are they just a comfortable mid-table team, or are they potentially building towards something better?
If I'm being honest, I think last season they panicked a lot, and the fact that they panicked is why they brought Beth England.
Yeah.
They then had a hard look at themselves in the mirror, thought, what can we do a bit different? They said, right, let's get another striker in. Got Martha Thomas in. A bit of a surprise, if I'm honest, that she went to Tottenham. I know she wanted games and she was going to get that. Sometimes it is a bit better to go further down the table and get more minutes. You can see someone like Nikita Paris has done a bit better for United at the moment, and it's just one of those things. But there are players there that I should look at them and go, really, you've decided to go there? And you look at someone like Charlie Grant, fantastic right back for Australia, and she decided to move in January. There's so many other players in that squad. You go, why are you there? Why aren't you pressing to go to a Champions League club or a club going for titles? Because at this moment in time, I don't see them as potential challengers for Champions League spots. I think that they're maybe in 2 years, when perhaps Chelsea have had to change managers about 14 times because Todd Bowley is so impatient he couldn't wait for a pint in the bar. He'll probably be owning the bar and then asking for the pint.
Blue billion
No,
pound bottle drops.
Go on. Let's not.
No,
Let's not. Yeah. My feeling is they've got a lot of talent. They're getting a lot of talent in. I think it's fair to say. Beth England you mentioned. We should say Martha Thomas. I've been very impressed with her because I think she didn't really shine at Man United, struggled for games, but she's become almost the lead striker. I thought Beth England would be the main player. Obviously, she's been out for most of the season. Martha Thomas has stepped in, and we should say she did score the winner against us last season. So this season, but last year
she nearly scored a second as well, thanks to Chloe sliding in last minute with an next.
Let's be honest, Martha Thomas is a baller. Let's be honest. She's on international duty. If I can watch Scotland, I will, just to watch Martha Thomas.
Do you think the league would benefit? I mean, this is going to sound really nasty, but do you think this, from an Arsenal perspective, do you think the league would benefit from Spurs being good and being challenging Arsenal? I think on the men's side, when Richard Pochettino took the helm at Spurs and raised their game just as we were sort of on the way down, and you had some really intense North London derbies when you knew the result wasn't a given, that you'd have to fight until the 90th minute to get, what could even just be a point. Whereas on the women's side, they've always been in the past have been walkovers. They've been 5-1, 6-1s, 4-0s. Just the result was decided before, pretty much. Now Spurs have obviously won a game, and fair play to them for that. Do you think Arsenal and the league would benefit from having Spurs being a stronger entity in the league and make those North London derbies really competitive and intense?
Do you know what? That's what we want. That is what we want. It comes to a North London derby. I think after that 1-0 loss in December, I actually took a look at Tottenham, and they're building something, and there's something happening. And and they're investing in the team with the people that have come in, the people that are on loan. I think it's exciting for them, but it's also for a club like us with our bragging rights and everything else. We've got to watch out. We've now got to be careful. We'll still run our game how we want it, but we've got to accept there will be that challenge back. Because they're going to have the attitude. We're not the pushovers we were before. We beat you once. We're going to do it again, because that's what they're going to want. And you can tell if you've. I haven't seen the interview for the press interview from the Tottenham manager yet. I did want to have a nose and see if he's still coming up with fighting talking like he did last time. We all sat there and laughed, and then look what happened.
We got a pads pulled down. I mean, we had a warning. We had a warning shot 2 seasons prior when we needed a late Viv header to scrape a point at their ground. So this is like
the difference was though that game we actually thoroughly deserved to win that game. And
did we?
Yes, it was just a few odd bits and pieces, and you thinking we should have had a couple of goals here. The referee blowing early on Jordan.
Well, the Jordan Knobs effort.
Things like that. It was at that time. It was a bit frustration because it was very similar to the game that they were actually eventually won in the end.
This is my point. I think there's 2 games where we've maybe dominated possession but haven't taken chances. Yeah,
possession doesn't win you games though. That's the problem.
No,
but the idea is that if you have more of the ball, they can't score.
Yeah, I know that, but you look at. I know I'm going back to men's foot. Look at Porto in Champions League for the men. All that possession, one tiny mistake, and that's it. I hate the Porto manager annoyed me, but he's right. Possession don't win you games unless you're scoring the goals. Then it's a different story.
This brings on to the next point, which is obviously we lost that game, and it was very traumatic and very annoying because it came off the back of us obviously battering Chelsea and beating them in a penalty shootout, and it just sent us into Christmas on a bit of a low. So obviously we want to put that right. Matt, what did we do wrong? If we sort of half lent on it in December, but also what do Arsenal need to do this time around in order to not see a repeat of what happened in December?
Apart from putting the ball in the back of the net a couple of times.
That's the obvious one, but like, why?
The right phrase is be clinical. That's what I want.
Yeah. I don't want to see any of this shooting whenever you want, because who was it? Was it Caitlin had shots from and Frida were having shots and they were being blocked left, right, centre, and it was just what's the word I'm thinking of? The way they were overthinking it essentially, and that's what did them in, because they, instead of thinking they either had too much time or they thought, right, okay, I'll pass this across now, too late, someone's come in and blocked it, and away they go. It was just very rinse repeat. There was no additional plan. It just felt like, right, we just got to throw as many forwards on as possible now and get that goal. If I'm honest, Alessia Russo could have quite easily scored. Had Amanda been able to jump a little bit lower, she might have been able to get ahead of her on target.
Ford hit the post in the first half as well. Which was a bit unlucky.
There's chances after chances, and just thinking, surely one of these go in. It reminds me of I was playing EA earlier today, and I had one of my female players. I think it was Beth Mead actually. No, it wasn't. Who was playing? Haley Rasso hit the crossbar, hit the left post and the right post. I was like, "Are you going to finally score?" And it just felt like that. I know Beth's done it in an actual game. Actually, yeah, she did it against Chelsea.
She did. She did it at Man United.
Even.
My fear is this is going to be like the Villa game we had when it got taken into like 12 minutes at a time, wherever it was, and only then did we finally get the 2 goals. And I fear it's going to be them backs against the wall defending. We can't afford to concede the first goal, obviously.
Just hope lessons have been learned. That's the thing that you bring on board, because it's a learning curve for them.
When we said it's the low blocks, isn't it? We saw it away at West Ham, we saw it away at Spurs, and obviously at home against Liverpool. And it's just a frustration because we know there's better talent. But I think in that Spurs game, I think about 20 minutes to go. I mean, I was sat with you and I saw 20 minutes to go when they had that lead. I was thinking, yes, we're not going to score here, and I think the team panicked. I genuinely, I think the players panicked when they realised, oh my goodness, we're about to lose to Spurs, and just lost all their composure. And I hope the result against Man United will give them a bit of confidence that getting quickly back to winning ways, and a win in front of a record crowd, which looks like it's going to be. I should say again, at 20:13 in the evening at time of recording, the lower tier and club level are showing us sold out on the Arsenal app. It is just upper tier tickets remaining
Just
as things stand.
quickly,
That's the quick thing
Adam,
I've got.
you
Dave.
did
They're very
make
sparse individual ones. I did have a look.
you did make a good point, Adam. The other day was, I think
Did
it
I?
was after the Tottenham game. I'm pretty sure I was thinking about this. Like the amount of times we play seems like West Ham that play in the low box, and you want how you play against low box is essentially you play the 1, 2, 3 touches, 3-touch football, get a quick and nice and quick, pacey, and into the box, and you get your shots on. And that doesn't happen. You said, I think it was that this comes with time, and because this team is relatively new together, you look at the players that have come in essentially that are playing now. So let's just say, for example, Vic, Frieda, and Kyra in the midfield, Alessia up front, and Chloe on the right. Essentially, that sort of team haven't played together as much as say Kim, Leah, and Frieda with Estina up top and Beth on the right.
Well, there's so many players. There's so many combinations that haven't been played because of the sheer quantity of players available. Whereas obviously last season it was just the same team, and because it was available and they were able to play through, and that almost accelerated their growth because all had so many games they could play together. Nowadays, I know Jonas was a bit more consistent at the start of the year. That team didn't, in the games that played, I don't think fully bonded as well as it could have done. We'll go through the players that can and can't play. We should just say Lacasse, Fox, and Sabs are all unavailable because of the Gold Cup. Rather miffed about the Lacasse one because I thought she was just starting to shine and show a bit of what she's got, and was very impressive in the Man United game, and she's not available. So for Kathleen, Kyra will be back probably late from Australia. So go to you first, Lottie. How do you think we are going to line up?
Manu Zinsberger in goal. There's no debate about that.
Well, and Bahardi, unless Bahardi makes a shock start.
Oh no, absolutely not. And then you've got Katie on the left, Steph on the right. The middle combination is going to be interesting because Leah Williamson we won't know until kickoff, basically an hour before kickoff.
Yeah,
but I would put Amanda in with Lotta.
Amanda's not going to. Jonas has confirmed that Amanda will not be ready for the Spurs game.
It looks to me like it's going to be Leia.
I'll take Leia. I didn't know that. I haven't actually seen the press yet, so I'm probably not the best person to.
As the only two fit ones, it looks at the current moment in time that it's going to be Leia and Lotta.
So we're saying that we played in the Man United game.
Yeah.
You don't. So you think Leah on the bench?
Possibly just to fill out the bench, if that makes sense. If she's not ready, I'd rather keep her there where she's safe. To be honest, I know we all want to see Leah Williamson play, but
we want to see Leah Williamson score a North London derby goal. I mean, that would be.
Yes, I know that. But
if she did that in the if she was to come on the last 10 minutes,
would you rather her play?
I tell you what, Lotta,
and then we lose the rest of the season.
Lotta
scoring. I want a Lotta Ruben Moy goal in that game.
Yeah.
And I want an Izzy celebration. That's what I want from this game.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course. Izzy's so cute. Like I've got to be honest, I have been learning sign language with her on her Instagram. It's quite cool.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I've kind of reignited my interest into signing. I know my basics, but I want to be a bit more further than that. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Is it middle of the park? Oh, who would I have? Leah Volti, Kim Little, hands down. I put Russo in the 10, Beth on the right, Ford on the left and Stina up top.
We know Ford likes a Spurs goal. If she's on form
this weekend,
if
she's scored over the international breaks, I'm hoping that confidence is rocketed. And Steph Catley's got her assisting boots on and all. I'm praying for it.
McCabe will obviously be at right back, and we think you can probably say Steph will be the left back. Matt, do you have any variants on that? Any alternates and maybe the strike force in the midfield? I think we are in the position where most of the team just pick itself, not because of maybe choice, but because of availability.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be the same back four that we saw against United's back five, including Manu. I would have gone Little and Leah Volti as the duo. I would have probably picked Vic as the attacking midfielder at this moment in time, and then Beth and Caitlin on the wings with Alessia up top. I wouldn't be surprised if Vic isn't available. I would imagine then Kim would go into the number 10 role, and we'll probably see Kyra come in. Or Vic.
Not Frida? I'm just curious. Sorry, Adam.
I think this season she hasn't been able to have that chance to shine. Just at this current moment, I think that there's been a little bit more faith with some of the old guard, and there hasn't been her chances yet to really jump back in. And I don't think Hengarisa has really helped her either at Norway because that's really demoted her.
Yeah, confidence. Yeah.
I've obviously come back with a bit more than just a little bit of confidence after that brace.
I hope so. And
I've got full faith in Frida at the moment. So
if she does start, fair enough, and I hope that she's out there and she actually has a solid game. I just hope that she learns she needs to slow it down. She doesn't need to shoot and hit the defender every chance she has when she's outside the box. She's got qualities that we saw last season, and just hopefully that she can reignite those qualities. I mean, the fact that she scored brace and she got player of the match as well. It's small things like that can just build your confidence. Just take, for example, I felt really shitty. Hey, I swear for the first time.
No.
For the first time.
Ding, 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 ding.
£10 in the swear jar, please.
I felt really crappy during my last set of tournaments, and it just
£20.
It took a save for me to go right. I feel better now.
Yes,
it's things like that make you feel better. You get a shot, a chance, a pass. Give something simple, and you're on your way again. You feel a bit better, and you're back to your normal self.
I mean, I would love, as much as I'd love to see Russo lead the line and score a hat-trick and stuff, and that'd be amazing. I can't look past the fact that last season Stina and Frida had a really good sort of 1-2 combination going, and with Viv on the sidelines, that would for me probably be the better combination. Obviously, Russo was on the bench for the Man United game. We were 3-0 up at half time. Is Stina? Could we stick with that? Obviously, Lacasse was part of that as well, and Kim I think was at the 10, but I could imagine potentially a Stina striker, Frida 10, and Little Velti midfield duo. My concern is there maybe is an over-reliance on two players who are sort of moving towards the end of their Arsenal career and thinking we need to have something in to maybe replace it. I'm hoping that's going to be Pullover and Casey. We know Kyra came on for the Spurs game early in the season. I'm not really sure she had a great sort of. I mean, we were all a bit pants then, but she didn't really sort of shine, shall we say? Maybe we hope so. Maybe she'll be different this time around. I could certainly see her coming on at half time.
The first time they've really played her was on the Wednesday night before, and she was just a midfield maestro in that game. And I think they kind of sussed her, so to speak.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, she was trying to do the same thing she did on the Wednesday night in the Conti Cup.
Yeah, it's Conti Cup.
Yeah, in the Conti Cup. So I think she was a bit sus, but she's coming back fresh from decent minutes with the Matildas. So we'll see what happens. I can see her coming off the bench.
Yep.
I am going to say that, although watch her start tomorrow. Now I've said that.
could we just get a quick shout out? I meant to mention this earlier, but can we get a shout out to the Adidas mural that's been put up, which has got her face on it? I think that's great to see that promotion and representation of the Matildas. So yeah, well done, Kyra. That's fantastic. I hope you have a great derby. So your match day predictions for the North London Derby. Lottie, I'll come to you first. Which way do you see this falling?
I want drama, so I'm going 4-2 to the Arsenal. Sorry,
Okay.
Manu, I love you, but after what I saw Grace Clinton do, yeah.
Just you mentioned Manu. How confident are you Manu will be able to shake off her little fumble against England and be back to her normal self?
Well, she's not playing Alessia Russo, so she'll be absolutely fine. Let's be
No,
honest.
she's playing
One
Martha
player
Thomas's
you
best
knew-
England.
Yeah, but I'm not. Put it this way: when Russo played for the other team, you always knew she'll score against Manu.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Always.
Yeah.
knew.
No, I'll take that one. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. Long as Lotter's going to be commanding that back line for me, I think.
That's the other question both are going to mention. How confident are you that Kadina is going to be okay in that back line? She was a bit flaky against Man United. A few wobbles, sort of worked her way into the game, but are you confident that her and Lotte is going to be okay as a back two for this time?
I think once she settles in, I think she'll be fine. But I think Katie and Steph, well, Katie especially, will have to do a lot of mopping up for the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's nothing against Leia, but it's just a case of Leia settling down into the game. And when you've got the likes of Beth England's charging at you, it's not fun. You need that big attitude like Katie to say, no, hello.
Yeah. Well, I'm praying.
Can't have that chances that we had last time where both Sabrina and Leia decided to give the ball away, and United could have easily been 2-0 up after about 5 minutes.
I should say, obviously, we know Beth England, certainly from her Chelsea days, loves a goal against Arsenal. Scored a few down the years. I'm really hoping that her move to Spurs has sort of left that in her past. Matt, 4-2 from Lottie. Could you give? What's your impression? Anything higher, or is it going to be an even closer game?
I don't know. You never know what you're going to get. You could get the.
Well, that applies to any football match.
Well, no, you could get the Tottenham team that just turn up and. Right, okay, we're going to sit deep, and this is how we're going to do this, this, and this. And that means it will probably end up being a 1-0 sort of game, or are you going to get, right, let's just go out, let's get a proper game going, and it could end up being like a 3-2, and maybe Alessia Russo scores the winner, or Leah Williamson, or maybe Manu comes up for a corner and scores a last minute dive. And you never know in these sorts of games. It's just one of those.
What's your score prediction?
I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal, and I predict that either Lotte or Leia are going to get their North London derby goal. And I think
I called Lotte first.
Yeah, well, if you're calling Lotte, then I'll have Leah Williamson off the bench. I think it's going to be 2-1, and then she'll get the clincher, and there'll be
Leah Williamson. Sorry, who?
Leah Williamson.
Thank you. You said Leah Williamson. So
if Leah Kadina gets a goal, I'll be pretty chuffed with that as well. So yes,
I want a Katie banger as well.
She'll be the only player that we have signed since the summer that hasn't scored yet.
Who? Kadina?
Kyra. Yeah.
She scored against Reading in the League Cup.
Yes, no, so it's Kyra. It's Kyra.
It's just Kyra.
You know, I would love Kyra to score and nutmeg Charlie Grant at the same time. That would be sublime. Like the best friendship would be in jeopardy there, but I think she'd take it with a pinch of salt, to be fair.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for a Kyra Cooney cross goal. That would be something special indeed. But that's it. That's all the time we have for the pod. Arsenal versus Spurs. Should just say a last minute fact: Spurs are the only team left in WSL who can actually potentially go unbeaten against Arsenal this season. If Arsenal win, they would have beaten every team in the league at least once this season. So there's a bit of an extra incentive. And of course, we will go. Based on the Man City Everton game, we'll assuming Man City beat Everton. That's 6 points ahead of us. We'll need to win this one to catch up. So big game, big audience, big stadium, big spectacle. All we need is the Arsenal to turn up. So before we leave, we'll just quickly say, where can we find you on social media? Matt, where can we find you?
You can find me at MattLR28, or you can find us on VAW Pod.
Absolutely. Give that, if you are enjoying our pod, do give that a follow. All the updates on pods coming out, and we do post some Arsenal updates as well. Oh, Matt.
Maria, just say today I should
Absolutely.
mention that it was Maria's birthday today.
Yeah.
The original song maestro, we should say, will probably do a little bit more on the review talking about Maria.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet her during my first full season, sort of supporting them, and what transpired to be her last. And she was an incredible woman, and she, like me, she sat in the East Stand, and the moment the game kicked off, she was singing to the rafters and didn't stop until full time. And she was just a lovely woman, and it was a pleasure to see her and even chat with her. And I look at we mentioned the attendances earlier, the huge attendances we're seeing at the stadiums, and the songs that are now being sung at the stadiums. I always think back to Maria and just think, I wish she could have been there to see this, but I think this is almost her legacy. And I think if she's watching up from above, she'd be very proud of what this Arsenal can do, of this Arsenal fan base, are doing. Many thanks, Maria. Lottie, where can we find you?
Find me at Lottie _AWFC, Instagram, or Twitter.
Twitter/X/
No, I'm not putting that in. That is the HTML address. No.
True. It is the HTML address, and thank God they haven't changed that yet. And in that's the so-called site that we all call Twitter. You can find me at AdamSalter4, where I'll be posting my ramblings, audience updates, and occasionally when I write for Sporting Her, you can see my articles there as well. But that's it. That's full time on this particular preview. It's been a pleasure. Just looking forward to the game on Sunday and hoping for another win. And knock the Spuds back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with a win. So yeah, come on, you Gunners.